Hey everyone, Nick here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this cool kind of infographic style donut chart KPI dashboard. So for me, these are just visitor survey ratings from a museum, a zoo, aquarium. These might be organizational KPIs. We ask our visitors something like, how safe did you feel during your visit? How welcoming did you think the visit was? How clean did you think the campus was or the building was? How accessible to people of all abilities, etc. And you could visualize those data in lots of different ways. Sometimes you want to do something more than a bar chart, or you want to kind of grab people's attention. And I think doing something like this, having these donut charts, this kind of small multiple approach, each donut chart represents one survey rating, I think could really work well to kind of grab your audience's attention. And I built all of this right inside of PowerPoint. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. We're going to go to our PowerPoint slide. I have a new slide right here, and let's just make one of those donut charts. So we're going to go to the Insert tab, go to the Chart tab, click on that, and I'm going to go to the Pie Chart option here. You get all the different pie options. You can see that a donut chart is a default donut chart, default chart type here in PowerPoint. We're going to go ahead and just click OK. This gives us sort of that chart with the dummy data here. We don't need this row and this row 4 and 5, so I'm just going to go ahead and right-click and delete those. And then you can see I still have two pieces of data here. Now the blue data is going to represent our survey data. And then what we're going to do with the other piece of data is just make this section no fill or blank, but we still need to keep that in the donut. So that's going to be this blank space right here. Oops, blank space. And then this is going to be our data. I'm just going to update these so we know our data is going to be 95%. That was my survey rating. Now I need to make this a function, or I want to make this a part to a whole. So these two cells need to equal 100%. So in this cell, I'm going to type in a formula, equal 1 minus the cell in B2, the value in cell B2, push enter, and there we go. We have a beautiful donut chart. I'm going to close out of the source data here. Let's go ahead and get rid of the legend. We don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this title too. We don't need that. I'm going to use a text box for my title eventually. And right here, I know that this section needs to be blank, so I'm going to click on it twice to isolate it. Go to the Format Data tab menu here, push No Fill, and now we have this beautiful kind of donut right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, you can see in my dashboard here, I have these kind of cool lines behind it. And what we have to do is sort of embed a picture into this pie chart with a couple of circles that I'm going to create right here in PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is first insert, go to the Insert tab. We're going to go ahead and insert a circle. So from the Shapes menu, we'll insert the circle. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to go ahead and just make this a little bigger so you can see it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make this no fill. And we're going to make the line black. This is going to be that outline. And let's go ahead. You can also adjust the width here of the line. So let's go put it to maybe 2 points. I think that looks great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another circle. Let's go ahead and push Control D. That duplicates the circle. We're going to put this right on top of the other circle. Now we want to make this just a little bit bigger than the original circle that we had. So what I'm going to do is go up to, with this shape selected, go up to the Shape Format tab right here. It's already selected, and you can adjust the size and the height and the width. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to click up twice on the height and up twice on the width, so we do this proportionally. So 1, 2, 2 clicks, 1, 2 clicks. Actually, let's do one more. 1 click there and 1 click. So a total of 3 clicks each. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over the circle to make sure that they're perfectly aligned. If I wanted to do this without dragging it over and looking at those red lines that popped up, I'm going to highlight both of the circles, go to the Arrange tab menu. I'm going to go to the Align tab here and make sure that they're both aligned to the center and aligned again to the middle. Now that makes perfect alignment. Now what we need to do is this circle here on the back, we need to make that we actually need to make that invisible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say no line to this line. Now it's still there, but we have 2 circles here. And what I'm going to do is make sure that both of the circles are highlighted. I'm going to group them. So I'm going to right click and group them as an image. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push copy. What that does is it puts this whole image, this grouped image, on the clipboard behind the scenes. Now into my donut chart, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click into the donut chart so that the plot area of the donut chart is highlighted right here. We want to make sure that not the whole chart can be highlighted, but we want to make sure that the plot area here is highlighted as well. Go over to the Format Plot Area menu when that pops up, and we're going to click Picture or Text Fill. or texture fill. Now you get this weird thing here, but we just copied this circle image, this kind of circle graphic that we created. I'm going to go ahead and click on from clipboard, not insert. We're going to say clipboard because my image is on the clipboard behind the scenes. Once I do that, you'll see what happens. Clipboard, and you can see the line actually goes behind the chart because it's now kind of an embedded image in this plot area. It's pretty cool. So what we need to do now is you can see that the line isn't exactly halfway between between this data point here and the donut chart, and we want it to be pretty much halfway. So what we can do is adjust the donut size. And so what I'm going to do is go click on anywhere in the donut chart there. We're going to go over to the Format Data Series menu, click on the little bar chart icon. Right here for donut hole size, you can see it's 75%. I'm actually going to increase the size by clicking up on the arrow. You can see that actually decreases the size of the width of the donut, and it also increases the size of the hole. And so once I do this, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and that looks like about halfway. So I think that actually is pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to I want to resize the size of my chart so that it's proportional with a 1-to-1 ratio. So we're going to go over here over the Chart Design tab, or once this is collected, actually I'm going to go to the Format tab, and you can see that it's formatted with a height of 5.93 and a width of 8.89. Let's just go ahead and make this into 3 by 3. It's going to be like a nice little square here. And I might not do all of the 8 charts that I had on my original side, but I'll just give you an example. I'm going to go ahead and delete the circle because I don't need our circle graphic anymore. So I'm going to position this up here on this part of the slide. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to insert a text box. And that's going to go right above. I'm going to say Safe Place, Rating. I'm going to make this center aligned right here, and we're going to color code it with the color of the value here. And now what I want to do is make sure these two things are completely centered. So I'll highlight both of them, go to the Arrange tab, and align to center. Now that's really nice. That's going to be my rating. Now I want to put a label here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the chart, isolate that blue section here, and I'm going to right click and say Add Data Label. Now the data label is in here somewhere. I can't really see it, but I know it's right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it into the middle of the chart, and in PowerPoint it'll give you this beautiful little red line that tells you it's exactly centered. We also want the red line that tells us it's exactly in the middle. And sometimes that pops up and sometimes it doesn't. We're going to eyeball it right now, and then we'll see maybe in just a second if I can actually increase this size. We're going to make it bold, change the color, increase the size so it really fills. And you can see that once you increase it enough, it's 35 point right here, the percentage actually goes onto the second line. What I want to do here is edit this data label so that it doesn't wrap text. So keep this data label highlighted, go over to the Format Data Label tab over here, and click on this little alignment button right there, the size and properties. I'm going to click on the alignment drop down, and right here you can say Wrap Text and Shape is selected. We're going to unselect that, and you can see once you do that, then the 95 gets perfectly centered there. You'll also see that it has this leader line here, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go back to my Format Data Label menu, click on the little bar chart, and then click unselect Show Leader Lines, so that goes away. Now let's see if those red adjustment lines pop up automatically. So I'm going to click on this and then just sort of drag it up, and you can see, let's see, it doesn't look like it's actually, if I move it around, it's just giving me a perfect center alignment red line. It's not giving me a middle alignment red line. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this one, and I think that's going to look okay for me. Another strategy might be to just get rid of this label altogether and manually update the labels with a text box. You could put that in the middle and then make sure that the text box is aligned perfectly here. But I think for our purposes, this is going to work just perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to increase the size just a little bit on this. Let's do to 24. Perfect. And we know that this is centered. I'm going to go ahead and group these two objects. So I'm going to highlight them both, right click, and then group. And now what I'm going to do is push Control D to duplicate it. You can see when you duplicate a chart like this, the leader lines automatically come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the data label again and then unselect leader lines. So we're going to get rid of those. And I know that I want to do at least one more of these, so I'm going to push Control D again. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that these are nicely aligned. You can see PowerPoint kind of snaps them into place. So this is great. I'm going to say welcoming. I'm going to change this to our welcoming KPI, welcoming place, and then this is going to be our clean place KPI. So let's say that we had our safe place rating of 95%, but then we know now I just copied that chart. But I want to change the data on this. You can edit the data right inside of PowerPoint. Make sure that the pie chart or the donut chart is selected. You're going to right click and then click on Edit Data. And this is going to open the data source that we just created. And so you're going to update it here. So instead of 95%, let's change it to the 86% that was the welcoming value. So I'm going to just type in 86%, push Enter. You can see my blank space formula updates. I'm going to go ahead and close this. But you can see that the label does not center. So you're going to have to make sure that that's centered again. So there's my middle line there, and then there's my my vertical sort of centering line there. That looks pretty nice, so that's a perfectly centered thing. I bet now that we have other charts here, I can do that with the 95 too. So let's select this, and then there we go. There's another middle line that updates right there. The clean place, we still have that leader line, so I'm going to isolate the data label, and then I'm going to make sure that the leader lines are taken away from those. Perfect. And then let's see, what I'm going to do is make sure that this is aligned again. So let's just move that, the two little center, you see when I drag it over here, there's nothing that comes there, or there's nothing that pops up. But if I drag it in the middle, you get the middle snap line and the centering snap line, and that looks really nice. The clean place rating is going to be 75%, so we're going to increase, or we're going to select the donut chart, right click, and then click on Edit Data. And then I'm going to say 75% there and push Enter. Perfect. Now I'm going to have to update that label again because it moves every time we update the data. So there's a nice snap, and that looks really nice. So I could do the same thing. I'm going to highlight all of these, and then let's make sure that they're all middle aligned. Perfect. And let's make sure they're all distributed horizontally. So I'm going to say distribute horizontally. And now that puts a perfect amount of space in between them. Now, since these are all highlighted, I want 3 more. So I'm going to go ahead and push Control D, and that's going to duplicate everything that I have highlighted. Oops, and I'm going to actually do undo because I want them all to be selected. So let's go ahead and push Control D again. And with them all selected, I'm going to move them down right below. And this should be perfect. You can see that the lines snap into place where it's perfectly centered, and we can make that happen. And then we can update this here. So I'm going to say beautiful, beautiful place. Get rid of that. You would want to kind of adjust the alignment of the text boxes if you had more text to put here. I'm going to say beautiful exhibits. And then this I'm going to make our value for cost rating. So say value for cost. All right, let's update these all. We know that the labels are going to change based on our data, so let's just wait to update those until we get all the data there. Let's see, I'm going to say this is going to be, let's see, 70%. Perfect. And then the beautiful exhibits, let's just say this is going to be 69 or 68%. And then our value for cost, let's just say this is going to be 60%. Now, another strategy I used here when you're having a small multiple of this is people are going to read this left to right and probably read this one first, go over 1, 2, 3 to the welcoming clean place, and then go back down. So they're kind of going to zigzag across the slide. So one strategy is to make sure that these are all sorted by the highest to lowest or greatest to least in terms of your data points. So we have safe place rating at 95. That's going to be the first one that we read. And then the value for cost rating at 60%. That's going to be the last one that we read. So let's go ahead and then update these labels so that they're right in the middle and centered. Perfect. We're going to update so that the chart doesn't show leader lines here. Let's go ahead and move. Let's see, move that data. Perfect. The red lines are snapping it into place, and then we're going to unselect that. And then I'm going to do this last one here. Let's move that towards the center. Let's see if we get it. There it is, the hashtag there, the crosshairs there. And then I'm going to unselect leader lines, and now we have a beautiful, I'm going to put this into slideshow mode, a beautiful KPI dashboard of these infographic donut charts that are just super, super cool. You can make it with circles, shapes, and just Excel and PowerPoint's default donut chart that you can update right inside of PowerPoint and build it. So if you like this video, I do hope that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and tap the bell bell next to it so you get notified every time I post a new data design tutorial in PowerPoint, Excel, or Word. Remember, you don't have to be a professional data designer to look like one using the software that you already have access to and use every single day. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.